Hi, everybody, and welcome to our Industry Leaders podcast. I'm Steve Weibel with Credit Suite. Once again, back here talking to another industry leader. Today, we are lucky enough to have someone with over 30,000 followers on a YouTube channel. This gentleman is a true leader in the trucking industry, Mark Rumps. He has truckinganswersnation.com as his website. He's been a driver for over 32 years. He's turned his knowledge and experiences into a successful YouTube channel that teaches new drivers, and old drivers for that matter, about the industry as well as entertains the more experienced drivers. He's even branched out to a website, blog, wrote a book. When his channel started getting tons of views, he also has a podcast called Blue Collar to No Collar, where people from around the world listen in on the ways to change their life. Mark, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me. I don't want to get too big. I'm not quite at 30,000 subscribers yet, so I don't want to get any hate mail about that. So
what are you, 29.7, I think?
Yeah, very close. But somebody's writing right now. Believe me, they're clicking the keys.
I'll call 300 relatives.
Liar.
I'll call 300 relatives, have them subscribe right away.
Great.
so the first thing I got to ask you is you've been doing this for 30 years, right? So what got you on your journey into trucking? Like, did you wake up one day? We're roughly the same age, our upper 30s, right? That's what you like to say.
Exactly.
What did you wake up and say, you know what, I think I want to drive a truck?
Well, I used to manage an Arby's, and I'd come home late at night. You come home like 2 a.m, smell of roast beef and sadness, and commercials on TV. You're like, they say, drive the big rigs, make the big money, and get the respect of the motoring public. That's what it said. And I'm like, well, I'm in for that. What else I got going on, And I went to truck school. 3 weeks later, boom, started driving.
3 weeks, that's what it took. And it's funny, we were discussing this before the show. I remember those commercials. Learn to drive the big rigs. I used to be like, wow, look at that. And I was just, 88, I was just out of the Marine Corps. So when I was just getting out of the Marine Corps, you were just learning to drive the big rigs, right?
Yeah, just right in there. And it's 3 weeks is still all truck school is.
Is that all it is, really? It would take me 3 weeks to get the shifter into third gear.
And on the third week, you test on Thursday. So it's not even really a full week. So
no kid. So that was it. You were on your way, right?
Yeah, literally.
What made you think, besides the commercial, obviously, that once you started, right, you obviously fell in love with it. Nobody sticks with an industry for 32 years if they don't love what they're doing, right?
I love to drive. And so when I was single then, I thought, well, I'm going to go see the country. And it worked out great. They pay you and you go drive around the whole country, but you don't really see anything. You only see signs for things. So I've seen the sign for every attraction in the country. This way to Disney World, here's this way to Mount Rushmore. I've seen every great sign that there is to see.
That is awesome. So 32 years, I have to ask, how many states?
49 states. So, Ben, I'm missing one. They're building a bridge, I guess, out there.
See, I'm going to have to guess. I'm going out on a limb here. I'm going to say you just haven't been to Hawaii yet.
It's under construction. The bridge is still working on it.
Yeah, but that means you've been to Alaska.
Yeah, early I had a load. I was single, and I'm at one of the steel mills. I was driving a flatbed, and he calls me up. He goes, oh, this is before cell phones. So you actually were calling on like a pay phone. People don't understand. You used to put money into a phone that hung on a wall. And he's like, you're single. You want to load to Alaska? They had some part for some pipe there. They had some specialty piece. And I said, well, what am I going to get coming back? Because it was all percentage pay. You wouldn't get paid. He goes, no. They got a machine that goes to BP in Dallas. He goes, they'll load you right there. And come on. He goes, when you get close to Dallas, call me and I'll get you back here to Chicago. And so I took it up there. I was gone for like 5 weeks round in that trip. And it's the most amazing thing. I'm glad it was summer. So it wasn't like TV with all the ice road.
The ice road truckers, right.
It's gravel. It was gravel, but still, it's Alaska. It was cold. I didn't have a coat with me or anything because I didn't think anything about it. So it's like 41 degrees all the way up there, Prudhoe Bay. Very cold. Amazing.
It's funny. I moved to Florida from the New Jersey area 10 years ago, and I flew back to Brooklyn. Maybe I want to say it was March, February, and just forgot what cold weather was. Got off the plane and went, whoa. Actually, in October, I was in Ohio. Did the same thing. Got off the plane and went, whoa, what is this? I don't own a coat.
Yeah, I bet you got refreshed pretty fast on that.
Real quick. Hello, Kmart, Walmart. I need a winter coat.
And I tell people bring a coat with them year round because you never know
Where are you going to be?
Or you're going to go into some cold warehouse. You pick up ice cream in the summer. It's 20 below still in there where the ice cream is,
I never even thought about that. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's a great segue. What made you want to teach others about trucking? Like something must have clicked in your mind. You said, you know what? I'm tired of people getting robbed, ripped off. It's time for me to share.
Well, there's a couple things really on the YouTubes. That's what the kids say today. On the YouTube, there's tons of people out there, drivers that don't have any experience putting out tons of information. They're like, I've been driving 3 months. I'm going to tell you all about trucking. And there's drivers that all they do is recruit for their company, no matter if they got to lie, because you get a bonus. You get paid for recruiting drivers. And there's companies that just hose drivers out of pay left and right and make themselves out to be great. And somebody has to bring that out. And so since it can't be most drivers are afraid to do that. So I bring that out to new drivers because you can change somebody's life, 20 grand difference, depending on which company you choose. When you first get into trucking in that first year, that's a huge amount of money.
Well, then you must be pretty happy with who you're working for now.
Yeah, I like it. Right. I've been here a little over 18 years. So out of all those years, yeah, so it's okay. But get home every day and not bad. I'd change stuff, but there's probably no perfect place to work,
No, of course not. Other than yourself, and that's even worse than people realize. but the reason I say that is because for you to have the freedom to talk about the problems in the industry means you're not afraid of if you lose your job, not being able to get another one.
Well, there's tons of jobs, but I don't ever mention who I work for. That's been a big thing on the channel, and that keeps them out of my videos. I'm just the channel, and that's me talking. That I don't represent my company or any other company. And in fact, I get offers all the time, and I won't take money from trucking companies to run ads on my channel just so that I can talk about companies, without people thinking, oh, well, he only said that because he gets money or whatever. So I turn all that stuff down on the channel. I think that works out better, really.
Oh, so what you're telling me is you have integrity.
Well, I try to have integrity anyways, more than a lot of the trucking companies, that's for sure.
That's what happens when you hit your late 30s.
Yeah, because you can do it, right. And these truck companies it's usually, you can call, which I've done. I'll call them to get information about them. And then I call back in 10 minutes and a different recruiter tells me a totally different story about the company, pay and everything. 10 minutes later. Wow. They just lie to you just to get you in the door. It's crazy.
Well, I noticed your channel's not just about trashing trucking companies. No. You also give real instruction too. Like, give me an example of something that maybe a video that people just love to watch that has a lot of hits.
Well, I mean, I talk about trucking news and stuff if there's something that pops up like that. And then, like, just recently, I put out another trucking 101 video about reimbursements and how you're, if you turn in something that you paid for from the trucking company, like a scale or whatever, and you get paid back for that, there's different ways that they pay you. Some don't pay you correctly. So I put out a video about how to get paid back for reimbursements. And there's all kinds of those on there too. I'm at, 500 and some videos on the channel.
I saw that.
Different variety.
Well, I think this is probably an obvious answer, but I want to ask it for those that are listening. How did you grow your channel? Like, was it just
organic growth? I mean, people looked at me and said, it's kind of like a car wreck. People go by, they just can't stop watching. They look at it and they go, oh, I can't believe it, but I have to watch another one. It's so horrible. And and they told their friends, look at this guy. Can you believe this guy would even stand in front of a camera for 2 seconds? And so that's how it went on there. Yep.
Okay, duly noted. I grew my channel by being a car wreck. Wonderful. Yeah, perfect.
That's how it is, right? People can't even believe that you would even stand in front of video yourself,
That's awesome. So speaking of that, now you have a podcast called Blue Collar to No Collar. And listen, this is a question that I want to ask you for me. What does that mean?
Well, on the podcast, I take what I learned on getting on YouTube and the blog and everything, and I help people change their lives, because everything that people want to do, there's something people know about. Everybody is good at something. And if you would just solve someone's problem, they'll pay you money for that. And so everything is monetizable, whatever it is. And I help people get that message out, no matter how it is, podcast, blog, YouTube, Instagram, whatever it is. And we go from there, right from there.
So there's hope for me.
There's hope for everybody. Yeah, whatever it is you want to do can be monetized so that you can live your passion and not have to worry that next week coronavirus is going to close your job. You're not going to have a paycheck. The only secure job is the one you create yourself.
That's true. That's true. I work for someone now, but I was always a business owner, and I I kind of find this better right now only because at our age, I'm happy to know if I show up, I'm getting paid.
Exactly.
But
The more problems you solve, the more money you make. That's all you have to do is solve people's problems. What problem do you solve? And you don't have to get them all the way. People that want to go from Los Angeles to Florida, drive there, they're stuck in Los Angeles. They don't even know how to get started. Just get them started. Show them where the gas station is, give them a map and kick them in the butt and get them on their way. That's
that's a
what people
fact.
want. Get them moving.
Yeah, I'm
That's
trying to.
blue collar to no collar.
I've been reaching out to all the golf ball companies and saying, listen, I lose tons on the golf course. How can we monetize this?
That's correct. There are people that pick those golf balls up and sell them that love doing it. And
I
I would
just,
have that person make a YouTube channel about getting those golf balls.
yeah, well, I'd like to see if they would pay me for being the one losing them.
There's a way to monetize everything, believe
Yeah,
me.
I believe you. So that answers my next question, which is how does it help your audience? You don't have to answer that. You just did. Um, Let me ask you this, and this is getting a little more personal. What's the most rewarding thing you've ever done for someone else and yourself without bragging? I'm not asking you to brag. I'm just give me a story that the audience is going to be like, whoa, never even occurred to me.
Well, the emails that I get from drivers when I'm able to help them because they don't know where to turn, I'll get them sending me an email. I'm making $300 a week. I'm going to lose my house. What am I supposed to do? You know, that kind of. And so when I can get those people to a company that's going to pay them properly so that, now their kids can have dinner and stuff like that. That's the greatest thing. Then you get an email later. Hey, thanks. What you said to me, I did, and it changed my life. That's just the greatest thing, really.
So, how did you learn? Is the wrong word because we are who we are as a result of our life experiences, right? Right. We
Right.
got to, or who raised us, who our influencers were in our lives. Um, what made you go from I'm managing an Arby's. I'm going to drive a big rig. I've driven 49 states. I want to help truckers who get into the industry, so I'm going to create a YouTube channel. To suddenly you're like, you know what? No, I want to help people just find their best life.
Well, that just goes along with it because all you hear about at drivers' rooms and everywhere you go, and no matter what your job is, everybody just complains about their job. Oh, it's can't wait till Friday so I can get out. Oh, it's Monday again already. That's constant. Well, life doesn't have to be like that. You can go live your purpose in the world. Everybody can do it. They just won't do it. But it's possible for everybody to do. And if people would have that income, even if it was just a side income, it would certainly change the way you worked at your job.
You are absolutely right about that. 100%. Matter of fact, I find most business owners that I deal with, every one of their businesses started as what the kids call a side hustle today,
Right.
right? They all started doing something on the side. It's how I built my business, both my businesses, um, because it was something I loved to do at that time. And like anything else, your loves change, right? Through life. Yours hasn't in 32 years, but actually, technically, it has because you've gone from a driver to I'm going to call you a professor.
Wow. That's
It's
good.
hard to believe you've become a professor and you're just simply your late 30s.
Exactly. I've done a lot in just a few years, really.
just a couple. So, um, look, let me ask you this. Uh, how can people who have, look, it's not everybody can walk away from a job, right? We all have responsibilities. We have mortgage payments, car payments, blah, blah, blah. We have families, right? Uh, how can you help someone, or what advice would you give someone who's in a job they may not love, but they can't just drop what they're doing and go live in a tent, right?
Oh, right. You don't have to drop what you're doing. Everybody's got 30 minutes a day to put a podcast out every day. There's no excuse. You can get up 30 minutes early. I mean, if you literally don't have 30 minutes, that job better really be paying you if it's taking your entire life up. Okay. Everybody's got 30 minutes to put a 10 to 12-minute podcast out every day and get their message out. It costs virtually nothing to put a podcast out. Everybody can send pictures, put a picture on Instagram. Everybody can get their message out. They just choose not to. So
It's fear.
when I talk to people, I don't tolerate any of those kind of excuses, right? If you don't have time, don't come and talk to me. Everybody's got 30 minutes to change their life every day. Put as much time into yourself as you do your job that you hate, for crying out loud. Gee whiz. Come on.
Well, they're used to having somebody behind them with a whip.
That's right. And that should be you, not somebody else, right? Because that person only gives you a little bitty paycheck and you don't get to control it. When you put the information out and you solve people's problems, you control your own paycheck.
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
And
you get to charge more than little $12 an hour or whatever your company gives you.
right. And you and I are not the most handsome fellows in the world. And look at us both doing a podcast.
I talk about it all the time that I have the perfect face for podcasts.
Listen, I have a face for radio. My mom told me that when I was little.
Nice.
Well, she was loving,
Oh, that's how they are, right?
Yeah. So old school, right? Right.
Yeah.
So one of the questions that I have down here, and I'm not sure, I'm going to ask it. For people who don't have a job or are thinking about changing jobs, what would you recommend to find the right job for you?
Well, if you need money right away, go to work anywhere. Go to work, go to do whatever you got to do right away to get money. Certainly. There you can sign up for Uber immediately and start working, Uber Eats or whatever, go get whatever. Don't ever just think I got to get the perfect job if you don't have anywhere to live. Go do whatever you got to do and then start putting out content. I mean, you got to reach people, right? Zig Ziglar said that if you help enough other people get what they want, you can have anything you want. So the whole world is available. YouTube's free to put content out. It won't even cost you anything. And everybody's got a phone. There are 5-year-old kids in the mall on a nicer phone than I have. Okay, so everybody's got a phone. I'm like, kid, where'd you get that phone? Like, get away from me.
And they know how to operate it too.
Yeah. So everybody can put out content and solve problems. Figure out what problem you solve, get an offer made, and solve people's problems. That's all you got to do.
And you're right, because back in our day, I was in corporate sales way back, way, back when dinosaurs were roaming. In order to get content out or to get information out, you had to meet people. You had to join BNIs, and you had to, go to networking events. And right now, you can network with the world.
You don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to go anywhere. You can just be at your house. The whole world. There's about 4 billion people on the planet, or so they say, that have internet access. So that should be plenty of people to find. Don't be the Walmart of everything. Because I've done this in my podcast, 21 people a month get you $14,000 a month. Simple. 21 people. So you got to find. You don't have to find thousands of people to make money. You don't.
That's awesome. I love it. And by the way, this is a secret, ladies and gentlemen, that influencers don't want to share. So you are getting real information here today from Mark.
Well, I want people to know that, because people always say, well, where are 100,000 people going to talk to me? You don't need to have 100,000 people talk to you. You just need to have a few of the right people talk to you. That's why your message has to be tight. That's part of what I help people do, blue collar to no collar, when they work with me, is get a tight message and a tight offer that goes right with that message, so that the people that it's for see it and respond to it. And then you can help them. You can change their lives.
So if they wanted to reach out to you to work with you, where would they go? BlueCollarRescue.com?
No, they go to launchwithmark.com when they're ready to launch. Just launch with Mark. I have a calendar that they're going to get on. They can choose a time, and I'm going to call them up. It's going to be me, not somebody from my staff, which is just the cat, basically. And that's pretty good. And I'm just going to call them. We're going to talk for half an hour about what their passion is, when they're ready to go. And then we're going to see if we can work together.
And look, here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. My dog barks once a day, and it seems to always be when I'm doing a podcast. Never any other time. Just,
So I need a cat.
Yeah.
Cat sleeping on the couch.
I know. I read about your cat. My daughter has a couple of cats upstairs. Okay. So what should a person need to do if he or she doesn't know their purpose? I didn't write that question, so I don't think it was written correctly. But what would a person need to do if let's say me, I've done a million things in my life, and let's say I've gotten through my life and I really don't know what I want to do.
What would you do if you had all the money in the world? What would you do?
Oh man, I'd take a ride in the truck with you, man. Let's go to Alaska.
Okay, I mean,
yeah, I know.
Traveling.
Yeah, you're right.
Traveling.
You're right. What would you do? And that's not as easy a question to answer for a lot of people, because their initial reaction is always going to be sit on a beach, which is dumb. because you can't monetize sitting on the beach unless you're writing a blog about being on beaches.
That's correct. You could
Right.
monetize that too.
Right. You know, my favorite thing to do is go golfing or fishing or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But,
So golfing for you sounds like something you really like to do.
oh yeah, I just wish I was good at it.
You don't have to be good at it.
That's right.
You only have to be one step ahead of the people that you're teaching. That's it.
That's it.
One step ahead of them.
That's a
So
fact.
you
That's
do
a fact.
golf shoe reviews. You'd film yourself golfing, golf ball reviews, right? The golf ball, I think, would be the mascot of the channel. Golfy, I'd call him, or something like that. Yeah,
Lost.
maybe that's not bad.
Not bad, right? Help me. You know,
Yeah.
it's funny. It's funny you say that. I talk to business owners all the time about business credit, and we have some partners that will sell our product, and they say, "Well, you know, I'm not sure what to say to people." I said, "Look, everything that you've learned from us puts you ahead of most people by 99%. So when discussing what we do with people, don't feel like you're going to get slammed because they don't know anything." So that's why they're able to monetize it. So what you're saying rings exactly true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Whatever's in your head can come right out.
Okay. So you are getting, you know, late into your 30s now. so
Yep. Getting up
so
there.
so now you must feel like you're living your life to the fullest, right?
Well, I mean, there's always more to do, but this is way better than just letting life happen to you. You know, some people, really almost everybody, for their whole life is just in the stands and watching their whole life being played out in front of them. They don't ever actively participate in it. If people would just take control of their life by taking constant action, they could easily change their lives. But people just won't do it, probably because from a kid, what do our parents tell us? Get a job, go to college, go to work, go ask your boss if you can go to the bathroom 10 minutes early, right? What kind of life is that? Oh, got to come in Sunday, sit around the water cooler, right? Forget that. Forget all that. It's no kind of life.
You're right. I always tell people what it's like is most people are passengers in their life, not drivers.
Yeah. Yeah. People get what they accept. Your
Right.
life is the way it is because that you accept that. Stop. Same with truck. I tell truck drivers that all the time too. They write to me, Mark, I've been sitting here 3 days and they don't pay me any money. Well, why are you still working there? Right? You could sit at home for free. You don't have to sit in the truck. You get that because you accept it. People always want to have the government change trucking so that trucking is subject to minimum wage, which it's currently not. That's why you're allowed to sit there for free. But drivers should just not sit there for free. If they quit, that company couldn't do it anymore. So stop doing it. Don't accept what you don't want out of your life.
That's a fact. That's exactly right. Oh, they'll replace me. That's okay. You can replace them.
Yeah, who cares? Who
Right.
wants to stay at a job where they don't pay you anything?
Right. I don't.
Let them.
So look, I want everybody to know they can go to YouTube, go to Trucking Answers, right? It's youtube.com, Trucking Answers. Real experience, real answers. You can listen to Mark there. I've listened to a couple of his videos. Amazing. I'm not a truck driver, but I felt like I was already ahead of the curve after an hour or two.
Well, 2 hours. That's pretty good. That's one
not bad, right?
So.
Well, listen, you know, I like to not work and get paid. So I'm the opposite of the truck drivers that are sitting there.
That's correct.
So, and if you want to meet with Mark, you can check him out one of two ways. I want to make sure I do this right, Mark. You go to Launch with Mark. That's Launch, LAUNCH, like launching the rocket.
Like
with
launching
Mark,
your future.
Launching your future with Mark.com, or go to bluecollarrescue.com, and you can learn a little more as well.
That goes to Launch with Mark. So yeah, they'll both go to the calendar. That's
Gotcha.
basically all that's there. Because like I tell people, you don't need a website. All you need is a landing page.
That's right. That's
you don't
exactly
need all
right.
this fancy. People think, oh, I got to have a website. You don't need any of that. Right? Just put people on a calendar and just talk to them. That's it. Just people are so amazed when a business will actually spend time with them.
You're right. You're right. So that's a great way to close. But do you have anything else you want to share with our listeners before we end this interview?
Well, I appreciate you bringing me on here. So it's been quite an honor. That's what I like to say that. And then, you know, anybody that's ready to change their life can always change their life, no matter what is going on.
Awesome. Mark, ladies and gentlemen, Mark Rumps, it's been an absolute pleasure. I had a great time. I love meeting like-kind souls. And I'm going to let everybody know who's watching this video, that pink light you see is a flamingo. This man has fun.
I love flamingos too.
All right. Well, listen, I look forward to having this podcast go live. I'm looking forward to having another conversation with you in the future, Mark. If there's anything we can do to help you, certainly reach out to us. And everybody, you can reach out to Mark once again at launchwithmark.com. You can email him at mark@truckinganswersnation.com, or you can go to his YouTube channel and look up Trucking Answers, and there he'll be in all his glory.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark. Have a great day. We'll talk to you again soon, ladies and gentlemen. Bye-bye.